at their disposal. But I mean, as we saw, one shot. There were some factors and reasons why they won that you can't really just counter based on a counter strategy and prepping. There was a lot of team play and cohesion going on there.
Yeah, I would say it's wasn't really like there wasn't anything in that match that really stuck out, because in the end it was one shot. They played really well, really good Chalet, but they didn't do anything crazy. They stuck to their guns, they stuck to the teamwork, they stuck to not crazy strats, but relatively normal strats, and they did it perfectly every single time against Oculix. Oculix wasn't doing the greatest. They aren't looking great these days, unfortunate for them. And so we go on to Chalet. The band so far are usually the same, but this is Sophia band, which is interesting to see. You don't see Sophia band very often in these matches.
Well, honestly, after the ending of the previous match, I think it's fine that we just put Zofia in the timeout corner for right now. I don't really want to see the LMG eat all that much right now. And actually, it appears that we might be going to a little bit of a rehost, taking a bit of a pause real quick. Not entirely sure what's going on, but we do have these bands, and for the bands overall, Benny, I mean, for Chalet, nothing too crazy. Valkyrie, Mira, Thatcher, and for that Zofia, sure, it might not be a super common band, but it's pretty self-explanatory why that is still a good band.
It's still a decent match. Sophia's always been one of those operators that are strong enough that they could get banned, but never strong enough to be banned, in most games, because there's still Thatcher on the board. There's Heart Breachers. There's, Nomad, Maverick, Ying, depending on what map you're going to. There's always something better to pick there, but Sophia's still a good pick to get out. You still get rid of that lifeline, you still get rid of that, the LMG or that M762.
Yeah, I think LMG is basically that's the main gun right now. Even that was really a sequence of events like a domino chain that I really didn't anticipate. I mean, it makes sense in hindsight, but going in it was like, oh, M762 gets a recoil buff. Oh, yeah. More people are going to use the LMG just because, if one gun is easier to control than the other, sure, makes sense. And then people were like, hey, wait, this gun's actually better than the other one, and in every way.
Pretty much the same gun, pretty much, except one has a longer reload speed and doesn't have the same attachments.
And I sometimes feel like I'm walking through the swamp using this other one, but beyond that, it's still pretty good. So that was really something that I think is just kind of humorous in hindsight. By the way, we are getting everyone back in the lobby, so it just shouldn't be too long.
It's just buff recoil across the board. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I feel like here's actually my thoughts on that. So
yeah,
I do think that obviously siege recoil is just a lot easier than games like CS:GO or Valorant. There's no exact patterns you have to memorize. A lot of it's just hold down and to the right or down and to the left. But I think at a certain point, once a game has solidified itself so long in a life cycle, doing such a drastic change like that, I think it might help in the long run, but it almost seems like it might be just a bit more trouble since so many people are used to the system.
Yeah. I guess it's true too, because the way it works right now is Siege is easy to play but hard to master. While games like Valorant and CS:GO, it's hard to play in the first place.
Yeah, and at the same time, I feel like over the course of Siege's lifespan, a lot more of the emphasis, as you said, you said easy to learn, hard to master. A lot of that emphasis hasn't really come from the gunplay, but a lot more the interplay between the gadgets, the overall strategies, how you play certain sites. Yeah, and honestly, having easier gunplay might be better considering the other half of the game is so much more incredibly difficult than the gunplay. It might just be a bit too difficult at that point, but we don't need to keep talking about game philosophies. We're just redoing the band phase right now, getting everything figured out, and then once we're done with that, we can finally get into the match. By the way, Okami are starting on the defense, One Shot are starting out on the attack, and for a team starting out on Chalet just to get that attacking phase out of the way with, I think that'll be a really good kind of second example for One Shot to demonstrate that team play. A lot of the attacking on Chalet is just knowing your positions, able to burn utility in coordination with your team, pinch out defenders from playing power positions like piano or the top blue stairs. You missed the game last week. In theory, obviously things could change depending on how Okami plays, but this could be a solid example of why One Shot have a lot of hype behind them going into stage 3.
Yeah, the big thing about last games was that they started on defense and they had such strong defense side that they didn't really have to play much attack to win that game out. So now we have to show, like you said before, they have to see them play that attack well, and this is going to be a question. I agree, teamwork is very important, but really now I need to see if the basics of attack can One Shot still show them. Droning is more teamwork, cohesion, using utility together. Definitely interested to see if One Shot can exemplify all of that as we go to master bedroom and office, our first defense from Okami. And well, it's not too crazy to see what you see here. Your pulse going down, playing below, inside of kitchen, inside of dining, having the Aruni, of course, and the Jaeger smoking a Goyo for shields.
That is kind of nice, by the way, that One Shot playing the same map 2 weeks in a row, started on the defense for one, then started on the attack on the next. That's very symmetrical.
It gives a lot
I don't
of
know.
info
That just
though.
well, it does get a lot of info. So I imagine, I mean, maybe we'll continue to see one shot play Chalet after this, but I imagine we might see maybe one map to break things up after that because, as you said, it is satisfying for me personally as a viewer to be like, oh, it's like yin and yang. But in terms of like actually like preparing for a match, now that you do have and will have extensive VODs for how you play on Chalet, which isn't the most complex map in the pool, it's definitely one of the more simpler ones for both the attack and the defense. Maybe we'll see them flex to another map and maybe start banning Chalet out a little bit more. But of course, if they have another good showing today that's based more on how they play together, hey, keep playing Chalet. Why not? As CJ said, maybe they're not to the Sonics level yet where they can play the same map every week, but if they have a good showing here, teams might just start banning it out against them.
Could be, yeah. Especially if they're not doing anything crazy and they're still winning rounds due to their teamwork and cohesion and how well they play together and how well how talented they are. There's not maybe Rotter Viewing doesn't really do much for them because you can't just win those fights because they're playing so well together. Hard to say. We'll see Slippery in the rest of one shot pushing it to laundry or not laundry. I said laundry. Library first, and there's a couple members playing that top of those library stairs, playing those blue stairs or those library stairs, waiting for the members of one shot to push through. Kilo be the one to go by himself to the balcony. Grenade pulled out, thinking, no, there's one playing that black top, top of those stairs. Grenade comes out, will destroy him. Well, looks like destroy the shield at least. They're one of those Vulcan shields on top of that pillar inside a fireplace. Peeks through, sees the Rooney. Unfortunately, Rooney moves away at the right time.
Oh, that was a really close call for the Aruni there. And wow, even manages to get a kill. Oh no, the moment Kilo looks away to see if Sonar will peek the other side of the pillar, peeks the exact spot that Kilo just looked away from. Excellent play by Sonar, not only able to stay alive in this position for a solid minute, but getting 2 kills as well, one onto the Yana and the other onto the Maverick, the substitute for that Thatcher since he was banned out by Okami. There's no direct hard breach denial on the side for Okami, so that Maverick really, the big thing you're losing out on is the nades and also that position that Kilo is playing. They also, one shot, still have the Flores, so a bit of a substitute for those nades in Gone 6. Continue to drive that Rotero drone on in, destroy those Vulcan shields or what have you, but it does still mean Okami have the man advantage. With the Thermite, they're able to open up that wall, but they have a lot of ground to cover in terms of positioning.
The pulse is gone too, so there's no C4 from below. Lava also doesn't have a C4 either, so I wonder if Lava has put that C4 pre-placed on the default plant spot. We'll see what happens here as, we're going into the last minute, and one shot need to figure out what the X is going to be to try and at least, push out those members with the Rotero drone. You saw what I said before, they're using those Rotero drones to the biggest effect. Try and push out those members away from those positions, but one member is retaking that position. Sonar seems to retaking Piano. Flash comes out court on the membership of Piano. So now, oh my god, Sonar, the sees the extended barrel, the Roni. Swaylen begins planting for the moment. Is there a C4 ready to stop him? But no, will the members of Okami have to push him instead? Person comes out, but is not in time. That smoke cancer is too late. And now it's a post play. Courts the kill on his Sonar. Wav getting aggressive. Swaylen the kill of his own. And Swaylen takes out 2. It's Raffi in a 1v4. 1v3, I mean. Raffi gets 1 kills, 1v2 now. Down goes Swaylen, but the 2 members left on the side of one shot are far off in positions, waiting for it. Do they have the intel to stop Raffi from counter-fusing? Yes, it is. It's Storm. He shoots him down, takes out in one shot with the first attacking round here in Chalet.
How well played of a round was that from one shot? They have a bit of sloppiness early on, not able to fully get a handle on Sonar playing inside of Pillar, but honestly, that might have just been more so on some unlucky timing on Kilo's part, and also Sonar going massive playing in that position. Then able to rotate off, one shot. Do still have 2 entire minutes to figure things out. It's not like they're strapped on time. Sonar rotates off quickly. One shot are able to start pushing into library and just outside of Piano. They start looking, they're like, okay, we can open up this wall for free. There's no hard breach denial. Opening up that wall is a key part if you want to execute from that library side. So at that point, the big thing they need to do is minimize the pressure inside of Piano. So, what do? They have Quartz playing outside that window to make sure that nobody's able to rotate in from Piano. They also have the other player covering Swaylen. That was Storms on the Flores, covering to make sure that nobody rotates in from office side, or from master bedroom side. And, thankfully, if you're not getting too aggressive, like Okami weren't, they lost a body early on, so they really only had 1 body to spare in terms of trade game. They start pushing in. Nobody's able to find anything. The smokes go too high and also too late. For one shot, not only were they able to just win that round based on their coordination and coverage, but also for Okami, a bit of a misplay utility allowed that 3v5 to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, Exile wasn't alive for the end of that to try and C4 from below, and I don't know where Lava C4 went to, but unfortunately, they didn't have anything to really deny the plan except for those smokes. And he said before, too late, too high, not ready to stop the plant behind the half wall. So we go on to our next site from the side of Okami. We're going to bar and gaming, and so far it looks like One Shot looking to push from Solarium's side. Fully clear at the top floor from the north to south side. And Slippery's gonna get spotted by the default cam, so at least Okami are aware of the members of One Shot. But usually when it comes to this site, that this is kind of the expected pushes from the Solarium side, so the members and the utilities all pointed that way from the side of Okami. So this is gonna be the first step in how well One Shot can deal with all of this utility, because last round, I said before, the early round was a bit sloppy from the side of One Shot. Getting taken out by Sonar early, it was looking dire for the first round, but they had the composure to bring it back in the mid round to late round.
Well, thankfully for One Shot, they won't lose Slippery early on, so that means they can clear out those Aruna gates with ease using his Yana clone. You just press 4, walk it directly into the Aruna gate, burn immediately. Wav will get aggressive, peeking all the way through the soft holes made in the bottom of the office wall to try and take a gunfight, but all he gains is actually negative health. He loses about 25 of his HP. It's still Okami to land the first pick. Quartz on the Lion, who was one of the last members of One Shot in that 3v5 in those EE1Ds, were very useful for getting Swaylin in the site and also probably delaying Okami's retake of the site once they realized Swaylin was starting to plant. So losing that bit of utility to make things happen, you're going to have to be a lot more aggressive when it comes to routing Okami from these positions, and thankfully for them, one member is already on death's door.
They're coming down to the last minute as well, and they haven't destroyed these shields that are so important. These shields still on the top of blue stairs is sitting there. Gone 6 will destroy it, looks like, or at least the Rotero don't destroy it, so that's at least one member gone. But have they fully cleared library? Library seems to be fully cleared, but I don't know if One Shot even knows that for themselves. They're still trying to figure it out. One player actually knows some player, you think he's playing Tiki upstairs instead of library, so it's some player like, no, it's Wav, low in HP, waiting for an unsuspecting member of One Shot to walk by and really come down the last 48 seconds. It's scary looking to be the prospects of One Shot as he walks in. Great shot from Wav. Low in HP. He gets a kill on to Swaylin. Kilo has to pick up the pieces, pick up that diffuser, and try to put it down on the floor. There's only 30 seconds left in the round.
Not only are there 30 seconds left, not only is Exile still alive, but Sonar has a C4 in addition. He's able to take down storms from below. There is a much higher prevalence of post-plant utility. Sure, there might not be smokes, but that additional C4 and both remaining alive to the dying seconds of the round is imperative and clearly crucial for Okami's success so far. Now that they've all rotated down to the site, One Shot have to get these frags. They'll start out good with a shot onto Kilo, but Slippery was already on low HP, easily finished off by Lava. Kilo with only 5 seconds left to clutch 1v3. They clutched out the first round, but trying to string together 2 in a row is a bit of a difficult proposition for any team. Okami managed to claw back 1 round, evening it up.
Yeah, we had the T test there. That was the test from, well, what we expect from One Shot is like seeing how well they can clear utility, because they're set up for that play. They were set up to waste time, and they wait for One Shot to clear those shields, to clear out Pillar, to clear out Library, and unfortunately One Shot couldn't do it fast enough. They didn't get any picks off of that clear. It took them 2 minutes to destroy all the utility. It was Rafi in that flank, which the question now is how secure are One Shot's flanks? And on top of that, you still, by the time they fully cleared out, or at least thought they cleared out Library, Wav was still sitting in Tiki. Gets up from Tiki, gets the first pick on one player pushing in. Swaylin does get refragged, but you're down to 30 seconds, and they had no real soft destruction to try and pressure those players on site. So unfortunately, One Shot, they really couldn't take any of that control and convert it into an execute. And members from Okami are ready from the walking down those stairs, walking down those positions they were expecting.
We'll see an adaptation from One Shot as Okami will move down below inside a kitchen, and it's from the Maverick on Kilo moving to the Zero. This is an adaptation that personally I like. I think that while the Maverick is a good pick, having that extra hard breaching, having that extra set of nades, but they haven't really encountered a situation so far where they've needed that extra hard breaching. They've been able to get a lot done with Swaylin's exothermics. Of course, they did lose the last round, but there really isn't a lot of hard breaching you need to do on bar. On office, for that take that they did, you only really need to open office wall. And for kitchen, if you're going from fireplace, you really need to open that one wall, and that's about it. Switching to the Zero is going to give you a lot more avenues to watch your flanks, and also with that hard reach charge as well. If you really need to open something up, you still have that in your back pocket. So for One Shot, I like that change overall. It also allows Kilo to still do a little bit more in-game direction with those 4 Zero cams.
Yeah, those could help with those flanks, because Rafi last time did get a flank in courts. Those Zero cams could be important to deny someone from Okami from playing aggressive in the early to mid game. As you go on to Slippery, pushing in first as the Yana. looking left, looking right, picking out certain positions. And the first player is going to be pushing into Piano, dealing with Lava playing inside of Piano, and seeing what they can do so far. Kilo just figuring things out, sees one player on site. There was that drone. But really now, how are they going to deal with this player? In Piano, they have, SL grenades, still ways doing some terror drones to deal with him as well. So it should be too hard for one shot, but the question is how long will it take them?
Right now, continuing to gain intel, they've managed to acquire all that library control, and now with everything in Fireplace somewhat cleared out, Swaylin could actually start moving over and try to open up that dining room wall. Again, there's no hard breaching from Okami. They did bring a mute last round, but this time Sonar has flexed onto the smoke, so you don't have to worry about any... Oh wait, no, there's actually a Cade. I'm foolish. I don't know why I thought that. So you do need to clear out those electric claws, and in fact, there is actually one in his pocket, so it's not nearly as safe as I thought. Never mind, he just opened the wall for free, so everything I'm talking about right now is completely useless.
Is that the wall?
But then he... Yeah, I believe that's what Swaylin did. He just opened it up
no
for free.
problem? That's crazy.
No problem.
Wow.
I didn't see any I didn't really see much electrification on that wall, so I was like, oh, maybe they don't. Oh, they have a Cade. Oh, Swaylin just opened it up. All right, fair enough.
Unless they're expecting, like we saw from before, like some teams expect them to open up and just let them open up, no problem. And then they play they play the trench. They play the trench one. They just wait for people to push in. They have long range scopes to fight back. Like you saw, there's a player on side trophy stair playing a long angle. Is probably playing dining as well to play a long angle or kitchen. So it seems like maybe Okami are expecting the long range play, expecting to push in, and they're going to take gunfights against these members. There are still smoke canisters inside that red hallway, ready to stop them from pushing in and planting. So question is one shot. Maybe this is the kind of play that Okami pushing because they're not expecting, they're not really, forcing up and trying to hold office either. So I think at this point, Okami are expecting to walk in. They have the C4s, they have the smoke canisters ready just to waste more time.
Yeah, with the C4s and no vertical control really from one shot, it's going to come down to managing to find these frags on the first floor. And the first one, it's not confirmed, but it goes the way of Okami. Actually, never mind! 4 rapid kills suddenly? One shot managed to find almost every single kill on the side of Okami. And Lava, he's now gone too! Okay, sure, why not at that point? You just open up the wall, no problem. We're like, oh, they don't have Vert. Oh, Okami have the C4s. Whatever will one shot do? And they'll just kill them all.
I don't know what to say. I literally there's not. I can't even analyze that round even because I don't know what happened even.
Up for 2 minutes and 45 seconds of that round, Okami were winning. And it's not even that one shot we're actively losing. It's just not much was happening. One shot took 5.
Because they didn't have a dedicated soft breaches, so they weren't going for vertical play. They didn't really. They had reinforced between office and master bedroom, so they were playing the office hold or that master bedroom hold and just making sure they can't push the hatch. So I was like, okay, this should be Okami's win because they have the C4s, they have the smoke canisters. They just had to deny them walking into dining. But then looks like they did. So they destroyed the first shield that was playing by half wall inside of dining. So the smoke who was playing red hallway pushes up, they get shot in the back. The player in dining gets killed. The player in kitchen gets killed off of long angle, I believe, by the player all the way back fireplace stairs. And then I believe upstairs players also got killed out. We didn't see those kills, but they also got killed in that same fraction of a second. I don't know if they're peeking. I don't know if one shot had pushed them all of a sudden. But within the span of 3 seconds, everyone, 4 people are dead. And I'm just like, sure.
Yeah, that was more so just an exciting round just because it dramatically shifted in, as you said, the span of 3 seconds. But we've really run the gamut on the site so far for what Okami can go to. They've gone to pretty much all the 3 primary bomb sites that people go to on this map. And now they rotate back onto office. This was the very first round that one shot won, and it actually came off the back of a 3v5 clutch since Sonar inside a pillar managed to get 2 kills onto both Kilo of the Maverick and Slippery. Kilo, by the way, he's now retaken that position of the Maverick, so you have an extra set of nades at your disposal, and we'll see if they're able to get a little bit more, to get something, or just really get anything onto Sonar this go around and not lose 2 bodies as he just swings from behind that pillar.
Yeah, the big issue this time was the late game trying to deny the plant because, as you saw using the site, you can easily open that wall onto site and push in and plant. So they had the post last time with the C4, and this Slippery's just going to walk in and take a fight. He's blind, though, and can't see anything from his teammates, but he's made his way into the library. He's full control, and I believe the members of Okami have already backed off and have left, have given control to the attack with one shot, but there's one player roaming downstairs, waiting for a late flank later in the game. It seems like there's one player maybe downstairs, on the bottom of blue stairs, and a member inside of dining. So that C4 from below is still in a position to deny them later on. I'm assuming Okami are at least have, correct positions to do it. And oh, what a great shot from Sonar. He does not peeking pillar. He's peeking the soft wall between the hallway and site.
And that's your Flores down too with those Goyo shields and also the deployable shield in the hands of Raffi. Could be a bit difficult to continue to try and burn this utility for the defense, but you do still have some frag grenades and a Gone 6 in the hands of Slippery, so not all hope is lost. It is also, sure, you might have lost a body. Still, okay, well, never mind. I was going to say you're doing as good as you were previously, but they're able to pick up Slippery, and they actually managed to find a kill onto Quartz, but Sonar brazenly swings out. He finds Swillen, but there's Kilo on the coverage. He faltered last time, losing that fight to Sonar, but this time he swings out, and a one-shot are able to effectively play the trade, but Lava's gone unread down inside of the kitchen. He's the only one left in a 1v2. With Slippery on the floor, that's why it's a 1v2. He gives himself away by confirming the kill, and both Kilo and Quartz remaining swing out at the exact same time and are able to take down Lava, going up 3-1 on Chalet attack.
Again, yeah, see, it seemed like there was a bit more aggression from the side of Okami to try and stop that push, because in the end, it's super easy, as I said before, just to open that wall, push in, and get that plant down. But you saw Sonar play aggressive inside that half wall area. He gets that first pick, great shot between that, see, right here, great shot from Sonar. He gets aggressive, gets another kill, gives a bit of advantage to them, but other members on the side of Okami are dying on these flanks. Members aren't able to, see them get at least C4 kills, seeing them get aggressive. Wav gets, killed below. He was the one of those person, I think he's below on blue stairs. He gets picked off because they found his position. They grenaded him from, I believe, one of the stairs below. And members also like Raffi, who were playing on site, get killed out long range as well. So unfortunately, it just seems like Okami are trying to, play this aggressive game and stop them, put, wrenches in the plan, but they're losing too many bodies in the process.
But now, going down to this first floor, this was the one site that Okami managed to win, and you're talking about losing bodies. This was one where one shot by the end just really had to try to push on in the site, and in the end, it was Kilo stuck in a 1v3. One shot were always playing on the back foot. They got that map control over on the side of Piano and Office, but they struggled to clear the shields on top blue. Struggled to clear the Aruni gates in front of them as well. And by the time that they did, most people from Okami had either rotated down with a kill in their pocket, or still their utility in hand and able to have impact later on. One shot were consistently on the back foot, and they would lose bodies to all the adaptations and utility that Okami started to throw at them in that late round. So for one shot here, that's something they're going to need to consider, is trying to speed up that attack up top. Not necessarily so it's sloppy, but just trying to make your way on in a little bit quicker, getting that utility, and then getting in a position to catch players rotating on down.
Yeah, last time we had this side too, it was Raffi who started us off well, getting that first pick, getting that flank off onto Quartz, and dealing a blow to, well, the E1Ds are important as well too when it comes to trying to clear things out, so they lost some good utility in the line of Quartz. So I wonder if this time, if they're more aware and able to stop that flank. And there's two players downstairs. Looks like Raffi was one of them who drops down into the basement. I believe there's still one player inside the kitchen. So this aggression from Okami, we'll see if it pays off better. So this round did pay off a lot better this round compared to other ones, but so far Lava gets ahead a lot of damage, so it doesn't start off quite well. So I like last time I remember Wav, he peeks out, gets a lot of damage as well. So maybe it's just a return of last round, but a different person.
Oh, it does feel a little bit of a repeat. We're also spectating Slippery at about the same time we were prior, where he used his Yana clone to burn that Aruni gate in front of him, which I imagine he will do again, as there's no real downside to do that. You wouldn't want to waste a frag grenade or a flash grenade or a drone when you could just, again, press 4 and send your drone on through. But one shot, they are starting to take these positions, and they put Lava on low HP, but we still need to see them actually make some headway in clearing these players out. It's about a minute and a half gone, and player on top blue is still alive. The player behind pillar is still alive there. Everyone from one shot are in positions to try to pinch them out, but there isn't really anything manifesting just yet. Raffi contemplates a flank for a moment, but he'll instead rotate back on down, just being a mere thought in the minds of one shot for the moment.
It is wasting time, at least, though. It causes them to pause and look behind them, expecting the flank. So, if anything, it's still time wasted. And again, we're getting on to the last minute, and those shields are still there. They still haven't taken control of Library. They still haven't taken control of Pillar. There's so much control that one shot require for this execute, and they have not even touched any of it. These players are still sitting and waiting, expecting a kill. At least they've joined them out, know where they are, but one shot needs to start pushing through, start taking fights. And well, so far, Storm is looking for a fight into somebody, but nobody's there. And Slippery's sitting in the back, waiting for a kill. Aggressive C4 from the side of Exile. C4 won't get a kill, but they know he's there. Grenade pulled up by Kilo. Will Exile hear it? He does hear the kill, drops off on the hatch, so he's good to go. Did his job, waste all the time indeed, and now one shot, 30 seconds left. What can they do?
Well, Slippery's still trying to watch the flank, anticipating maybe Raffi making a play. We've already seen one shot when the time is low still miraculously manage to win it out flawlessly like they did on their dining attack, but there's still so much utility facing them. The shield on Library still alive. Kilo manages to get the pick, but Lava's down as well! Surely One Shot don't manage to win this off of everything seeming to go Okami's way for the majority of the game. A 3v5, no post-lane utility left, but Sonar in a powerful position. They haven't read him. He's able to land the shots. Court's down as well, but Kilo swings on out. He takes him down, puts him on the floor. It's just Kilo left in the 1v1, and he's not able to land the shots. A 3K for Exile, 1 with the pistol, 2 with the Vector, but another example of One Shot struggling to clear out the positions of Okami.
That's that one site. Okami has that one site on lock when it comes to dealing with One Shot over and over again. Just they take 2 minutes to do, well, 2.5 minutes actually, to just even take control of library, to deal with those players. And every single time they play that site, they haven't even gotten the kills even they needed to. They have just caused those players to push back. Actually, this round they got the kills they needed to. They actually did get a kill onto the player of Lava upstairs. And get to pick another player downstairs as well. So they did have that 2-man advantage, but they had 16 seconds left. Or 30 seconds left. They had like no time to do anything. They had just rushed into sight, and members like Exile, like you saw, they were ready for those picks, ready for those drops. Sonar is playing the long haul, ready to try and deny anybody from walking through the fireplace. He did get picked off finally, but with no time left, it didn't even matter. So unfortunately, One Shot, when it comes to that one site, they just don't have the necessary, I guess maybe comprehension or teamwork to deal with the utility and properly get it done within a appropriate amount of time. Hard to say, maybe they just aren't ready for it. Maybe they didn't practice enough. I don't know what's sir, but we'll go back upstairs to Master Office, which has been One Shot's won so far every single time.
Yeah, it is a bit interesting that Okami won't decide to try Kitchen out. Now, it was a flawless round, and you might think, oh, well, Carter, they lost it completely. One Shot were flawless. Why would they not go? Well, it was only a flawless. It was a 5v5 up until the final 15 seconds. And Okami were looking like on track to win in terms of utility. The map control they still retained. The only thing One Shot had was a giant hole opened up looking into the side that they could push on through, but Okami still seemed to have the angles. It was just One Shot managing to find the frags in literally the span of 5 seconds that managed to work, but for the vast majority of that round, it was another example where Okami were able to hold on to their positions completely. It's not been the same story for Office. One Shot have consistently been able, a little bit the first round, but it only happened towards the end. But in the second attempt, they were able to gain a lot more control over the round. It did still come close by the end, so maybe One Shot, it's not as strong as we might think, but for Okami, it's still been One Shot's best attack that they have to repel so far. Best consistent attack,
let's see if they can do different this time. And Sonar playing this position every single round has been, not every single round. Like, first round was really big. He played a different position. This time he's already dead. Right, by Slippery, who just walks in. Like he did last time. He just kind of walks in, takes the fight, and he'll win it against Sonar this time. Sonar last time he had retreated back to site and played this position Exile's playing, but this time he tries to stay in that pillar position for too long, and Slippery takes full advantage. Raffi trying to get aggressive, trying to deny that position on the balcony. Unfortunately, can't get that pick as Quartz walks off from the balcony, and now so far looking good for One Shot to start us off, and now they have to go to work and open up the walls. Per usual, Exile getting aggressive because they need to get a pick in return and try and stall One Shot.
What's especially ironic is that play by Slippery was the adaptation we needed to see in the previous round. Getting aggressive, trying to take out the player in library, then push into pillar. That's what we should have seen. Instead, what we're seeing is Storms just massacring everyone in his way. One player, Lava, just didn't get a chance to play the game. Wav tries to make his impact on the round, cut down by Storms. Now, Exile and Raffi trapped in the 2v5. Exile will manage to find one, almost the second, but Slippery, that's 2 for him on the round. Raffi will swing out, almost find Slippery on 1 and 2 swings, but only puts him for 1 HP. They'll struggle to rotate back in, and they're actually, that wall is not opened completely. Hilo is currently mapping it open slowly and steadily. He'll try to swing out, but in a 1v4 Raffi, I don't know if that was exactly the play. Didn't have much of a choice. It was still likely a lost round overall, but it does mean that One Shot, their 4-2 half, came a little bit in a different fashion than I think they anticipated.
A little bit different, but still perfectly fine. They won every single site except for that games bar site, so they're looking pretty good there. They knew what they were doing. Most of the time they knew what they're doing except for that games bar site, but they knew they were pretty much overall. And you saw here Storms was just on a tear that game though. That round, he just denying any kind of aggression from Okami to try and retake, either retake or even up the man count. And Raffi by himself in a pickle at that point, really, with all that aggression from the side of Okami. So we go to Okami's attack, and we're expecting them to just bring it back at this point, because Chalet is an attacker side map. It's very easy to try and deal with these defenders. You've seen from One Shot, they have cored these defenders time and time again and dealt with them left and right on this map, except for this game bar.
But keep in mind, it was also the defense where One Shot ran up the numbers on their previous game against Aqualix. Now, of course, that was a weekend Aqualix with 2 players coming in, CZ and England, who the last time they played, Chalet was just not in the pool. So you can forgive them a little bit for not being exactly up to the level of play needed at the day, especially with England coming in on short notice. But One Shot as well, it's still a 5-1 defensive half that, as the desk mentioned, wasn't so much Aqualix not playing well, but One Shot just also playing extremely well together. So starting things out on bar, it's been the one site that the defense, as you said, Benny, have consistently won so far. For One Shot, it's a little bit different. They're bringing an Alibi instead of an Aruni, but overall, it's pretty much the same setup we saw from Okami, just with a little difference here or there.
Little difference, yeah. It's not going to be as difficult, at least, to get rid of those Unigates and push in, because they're not there at all. So you just have to deal with those Prisma clones from the Alibi of Swaylen. But it looks to be the same push from the side of Okami, like we saw. One Shot, pushing north to south, pushing with Solarium, walking the Piano. But it looks like there's members from the side of One Shot that are playing more aggressive, playing those positions like maybe Piano or Office. But it looks like they're backing up back to the Pillar, back to those blue stairs for the moment, and not looking to play there too long. They had pinged them for the moment, but as soon as they got pinged, they walked away. And really, yeah, so they've same thing, reinforced that long wall to the hallway, probably have that soft wall between Pillar and Office, and now Exile will probably take that place and walk to the double window. Now we'll see if Okami can play a lot quicker and see if they can actually take out these members playing these positions compared to One Shot. One Shot took years to actually take control, as really they have to find out how they're going to do it, because they're not bringing the Flores either on the side of Okami, and One Shot's Flores actually helped a lot dealing with the shields and dealing with these positions.
There were some flaws in One Shot's play on the Flores. For example, trying to use the Rotero drones to clear out blue stairs when they hadn't cleared out Pillar, so the Pillars guy just shot the Rotero drones as they drove by. And for One Shot right now, all those positions are still alive. Again, as you said, there is no Flores, so I'm not going to see the same play from Okami, but it is a minute and a half gone in the round, and nobody has really rotated back from One Shot. Raffi, on the other hand, on Okami, will rotate over to Library, and will likely see a similar play to Slippery, but no, it's a kill from Raffi onto Slippery, coincidentally enough, but it's a double C4 from Kilo down below as the members of the attack either jumped, no, they were just walking around inside of Office, and Kilo, unread down below, lands a kill on the Yana and the Hibana. Sure, there might not be a lot of hard reaching you need to do on bar, but those are still 2 operators and a player of Sonar as well, who could have been incredibly important for furthering Okami's execute.
Well, that whole entire clear upstairs may be out the window for Okami. WAV trying to hit a position where they won't know, but again, this Banshee, its position could be the tall tale for One Shot to be aware of his existence. WAV expecting some aggression or a swing from somebody, and there it is. Kilo looking to swing slowly but surely. The timing, though, Exile goes down above. Storm and Swaylen fight back, and Kilo swings late, kills WAV, and One Shot taking their first defensive round. And yeah, it looks like this is the site that nobody can really do because of how difficult it is to deal with these players in Library, deal with these players on Library stairs or in Pillar.
Well, yeah, but this bar from One Shot, as you said, I mean, struggling to deal with the offsite players has been the problem for both teams so far, but it manifested differently for One Shot than it did for Okami previously. For I guess Okami's defense, it was mainly the players, as you said, inside of Library and inside of Pillar that were the big problem for Okami, or for One Shot. Now for Okami on their attack, it was Kilo being completely unnoticed downstairs inside of Kitchen. Either he rotated out or he was sitting there the whole time, whatever it was. Okami were understandably putting a lot of emphasis in trying to gain as much intel on the players playing inside of Library and Pillar as much as possible. If you're attacking Bar, those are positions you need to clear out. But at the same time, you can't let players inside of Bar or players downstairs inside of Kitchen and Dining go unnoticed, because if the entire beachhead of your attack is in and around Office, that entire floor is soft. Somebody could rotate below and go for a C4. So I like how much Okami was trying to clear out and how quickly they were trying to do it, or how quickly they were starting to ramp up the pressure as they entered the mid-round. You can't let places go like that go unnoticed, because if you don't, a C4 could suddenly kill 40% of your team.
Yeah, that's the one thing too, because we've seen both times in One Shot's attacks and Okami's attacks. Like you said before, they put so much emphasis on trying to figure out that play upstairs, and nobody really drones downstairs. Like the only time we've seen someone below was a WAV. WAV was downstairs pushing that jungle hallway by himself. and they had finally figured out, and they finally, well, that's after they got C4 though, kind of too late at that point really, but it really seems like on those attacks they really put full emphasis and full intent on that top floor, and they really forget about that bottom floor, which, you know, Pulse and one in a couple rounds before that in different sites from Okami did really, actually it's funny, the sites where they still was top floor, there were people who were playing aggressive and that, you know, the attacker was able to deal with them, but in that round there's someone below with a C4 and nobody really takes notice at all. So definitely odd to see sometimes, but let's see, we go to our different site. This time we're at the top floor still, or top floor this time, not bottom floor, or master in office. And so far this is just a layer take from Okami. Mostly last time one shot it was just pushing, you know, pushing the half wall, getting that plant down.
Yeah, for one shot, they heavily favored library takes, but Okami, obviously, clearly by WAV, get landing the opening pick onto Kilo from that bedroom repel, and also Exile repelling into Solarium in the first 45 seconds, very much favoring that northern side of the map as opposed to Okami. Raffi will spot one member quickly rotate across that window, and actually, neither takes any damage in that engagement. For how eagerly Slippery rotated across there and seemed to stay there a little bit longer than I think Baby have even been favorable with Raffi playing on there. Neither manages to take any damage. One member of Okami will die. It is Exile, the first to fall on the attack. He was the one that very quickly repelled into Solarium, but Okami, with a minute 30 left, still hold the man advantage, and with a lot of Solarium control intact, they have somebody watching down below, somebody on the bedroom repel, and two players ready to push into master bedroom. With no C4s on the defense as well, all they have to worry about are those yokais, and Okami are still in a good position.
Yeah, at this point it's a bit of a one-sided push from the side of Okami, but they have the big window is the big thing. They can cut off all rotations from the big window. If they can take control of bathroom as well, it's pretty much, well, yeah, they have control of bathroom, they have control of the closet. There's so much control in Okami's hands right now that it's almost, I won't say impossible, but very difficult for one shot to push in. Swaylin does take out the person on the repel. There's a trade between Swaylin and Lava, so it allows members now for one shot to push back in and take fights. And here you see the Nomad jams comes off. Swiftly can take a lot of damage. He takes a fight on Trophy Stairs and loses it to Wab due to the air jab, and now a 1v3 for Quartz.
Quartz, he did already manage to stop the plant with one of those yokais, but three members right now in Okami, two able to cover Sonar's plant. Is the yokai still intact? Why, yes, it is. It's in a bit of a precarious spot, and ooh, manages to nail Raffi to a post. With that yokai still alive, Okami aren't aware of its position. They might even make the call just to completely rotate spots, but Sonar's caught off guard. They haven't droned him out. They're completely unaware of Quartz's position. With the fuser dropped inside of Piano, two members now put in the pockets of Quartz. The Grim Reaper inside of Office. He'll continue rotating back. A flash will go out, but Quartz is able to be around the corner. He peeks, isn't able to land the shots, switches to the secondary. Wav goes for the wide swing, but the pre-fire lands. Wav from Okami manages to stop Quartz's 1v3 and start the slow climb to retaking, or at the very least, evening Okami or one shot's lead.
Oh man, that could have been such a play from the side of Quartz, but unfortunately, you know, in that position, it is the best choice at that point to go for the kill. So good on Wab to know that in that position, because you're in a 1v1, you really can get the plant down with the yokai still available and the information still in the hand of the defense. So good shot from Wab, good try from Quartz. But really, that round started off in a really good try from Okami. They had full control of the site. They get that first pick. They push the way into sight. They deny the pushes from the trophy push from below because they have the Nomad in play. So nobody can really flank. You saw someone tried to flank later on. I believe it was Slippery tried to flank later in the round, but hits the air jab, gets killed out. And really, they had full control, but the yokai was so big there. So big. It could have been a play from Quartz. They could have took that round back, but good job from Wab to really clutch it out for his team, make sure that they could not retake that for him.
Now One Shot won't try that side again. Instead, they'll rotate on down to kitchen. And as we saw One Shot try to take this, all they did was open up that dining wall, try and contain all the players up top, just hold angles, and if they peek, they peek. If they don't, they don't. They then pushed on in and ended up in a flawless round. For Okami, we've seen them favor the Solarium side a little bit in the previous round, and then also on that bar attack. We saw really just kind of a lot of everything in their attempted attack on the bar. We saw some presence over on that library side, some presence on that solar side. Really, it wasn't concentrated either way for a large majority of that round. For here, I imagine, Okami, I imagine we'll see them still place some emphasis on that solar side. Maybe put one player, one or two, over on library, but it worked out so well last time for a large portion of that round. For this side as well, if you're just able to contain the players inside of Office and then start to make your way into Trophy, you can get a lot done with not too much utility expended.
Yeah, it's interesting when Okami defend this side, they reinforced between, you know, Office and Master Bedroom, and they just tried to defend the Solarium side and make sure that it was, you know, that one shot couldn't just walk into Office and, you know, open to the floor, but looks like instead one shot are expecting them to take control because you've seen Exile on the sledge a lot, so you can see that Okami are really, have more chance of using that vertical play or looking to do the vertical play. Lava with the first pick onto Storms inside the master bedroom. That is a huge cutoff in the roam from one shot. So now those members who were playing Office can't return to Solarium. That gives so much control to Okami to use, Exile on the sledge. He can just put vertical holes and push those players in kitchen into dining, into other players, into other areas. So now with full control Master Bedroom, let's see what Okami does next and how much they can do, how much pressure they can put on these players on site.
Really, really well played by Okami on pitching out Storms from that position. And again, not really much expended on the side of Okami, and now they have so much vertical control and control of this northern side of the map at their disposal. Exactly like we were talking about towards the beginning of this round. Now, half of the round is now gone. Everyone from Okami, except Rafi, has now entered the building, and they can take a lot of time to continue gaining intel on this first floor, opening up whatever they want in terms of holes up top. If Exile wants to get some soft destruction, if Sonar wants to use some of his X-Kairos as he has so far, and now with the drone down below as well, there is one member of One Shot that is currently creeping down below. Don't believe he's been spotted by Exile. He has managed to spot a couple of the drones, but is Rafi aware of his position? He might not be.
Well, Sonar will take a split though, so one member after another goes down from the side of the defense. In this position, Slippery could be the mainstay to bring them back in this round, but the Nomad's in play though, so I'm assuming, oh my god, Quartz is full flash, finished off by Rafi. That flash is so strong. Kilo has to return to site. Slippery there is the fight, right in there for the flank, gets one pick. He's only one man against 3 more other players in his positions, and there's Lava to finish him off. It's now Kilo in a 1v4. 1v3 technically on site. Plant goes down. Actually, the plant doesn't go down. He stops. Sonar's getting shot at, so he stops the plant. But there should be a member ready to stop him, or at least to give him the position to help this cover out. Yep, there's pushing actually below. It's Lava from below actually takes shots on the Kilo. And now at this point, yeah, Kilo has no position. He just has to run away and try and go upstairs. Maybe try a vertical angle, but it's a 1v4. It's not much you can do.
And no, there's really not. And honestly, that round, it wasn't lost the moment Storms got taken down inside of Office, but that was just such a monumental pick early on with little to no utility expended by Okami. It was always going to be difficult to try and regain that. There could have been a massive play by Slippery with that flank from below, as Rafi, not only did Exile not drone him, Rafi ran in through basement, Slippery shot a drone 2 feet behind Rafi, and Rafi kept going up West Main. Rafi just didn't hear Slippery shoot that drone behind him. So that itself could have been massive for Slippery to try to regain control in that round. But at that point, it was a 5v3. It was a 5v3 for Okami. Quartz was just he was in a blender inside of the site. He was flashed. There were 3 people running at him. He was full blind. There was nothing he could do at that point. So Slippery, even though it could have been a big flank, so much was lost by losing Storms as early on as they did, about 30 to 45 seconds into the round. It's already most of the control you need for the attack if you're trying to do a Solarium take onto Kitchen and Dining. And then at that point, once 2 members collapsed on the site, Slippery, maybe if he got a couple more kills, it would have been crazy. But you all saw how difficult and unlikely that would have been based on how that round had progressed into 2 minutes prior.
Yeah, that big one control is huge because you just cut the roam in half. And well, it wasn't even in half even. You denied all the roamers coming back to Solarium, which solidified control for Okami. They full control of Trophy. They had full control of that side of the map. They walk in, kill the person on site, and now the other members of Okami, or not Okami, for One Shot have to return to site, and those long-range positions are already in the hands of Okami, so unfortunate for them. We go on to the next site. We go back to Barton Games, which has been the one site so far. One Shot has won so far on their defense, and it was more due to the fact that, Kilo got a double C4, and they still hadn't cleared Pillar or, Library Stairs at that point, so this time around, let's see if they can get that same miraculous play, or if Okami gonna run the same issue with time-wise like we saw for One Shot.
The big question I'm wondering here is teams, aside from One Shot in their very final attack onto Office, not Bar, but onto Office, teams have struggled to deal with that Pillars player in any quick or efficient fashion. It's normally taken about half the round for that Pillars player to rotate out, and sometimes they've even gotten a kill and have been unpunished rotating back. One Shot successfully flooded that area once and managed to not only land the kill onto Sonar, but later went on to win the round. But the reason I'm saying all this is because Lava has rotated to the Flores. One Shot did that once as well, but since they never cleared out Pillar, those Rotera drones were by and large shot and completely nullified. Okami, last time they attacked Bar, struggled to clear out that Pillar player. A good adaptation by Lava onto the floor is sure, but if they struggle again with clearing out this area, it might be a rotation that is completely rendered moot if they struggle in the same areas they did previously.
Well, the only reason, too, they were able to clear out Sonar that one round is because, well, it was a different site, and they were allowed to just walk into the library. That rush in the library was huge, and you really didn't expect, Slippery just to run in and kill you.
And now there's way
that.
more players over here.
Yeah. Well, hey, they got rid of the shield, actually.
That's true. That is a good point.
So, this has been different one-shots so far. They get rid of the first shield. It's still player playing library. Oh, he sees a tip of his head. Raffi, can he get that pick? Oh, he pre-fires it, but unfortunately, one-shot. Remember, on that stairs is still alive. So, Okami starting out better than one-shot when it comes to this site. But so far, we're down to the last minute, and they haven't really taken any control. They haven't pushed these players out.
There is no longer a player in Pillar, but there are so many more players inside of Library. Instead of rotating down, they've instead just rotated back, and Okami have managed to clear out that top blue shield. I do think that is very important for their chances overall in this round if they want to try to push down those stairs, but this is where the problem starts to rear its head. Raffi, sure, you've got the opening pick onto Swaylin, but so many people, like Slippery, have rotated back into Library. Instead of rotating down, they could just continue swinging every angle, every hole they've made, and they rack up 4 kills onto their total. Wav, the only one left, about 25 HP, diffuser not in hand. He basically has to go for frags at this point. And in a 1v4 with so little time and so low HP, it's looking like one shot are moving on to match point. Smoke canister will go out, but he un-ADSs at exactly the wrong time. A 4K for Slippery, but again, Benny, a failure to clear out that library position, that overall quadrant of the map, results in another round for the defense.
But in the same point, it's been the only site they've won so far is that same site. So at this point, we're still heading down that pathway of going to overtime.
That is true. While teams have struggled to clear out Library and Pillar, and Bar has a 100% defense win rate so far, it is also the only site that the defense has won in this match so far.
It's the only site they've won. So we're looking at overtime unless something different, because both teams on attack on every other site has done fantastic. Okami and One Shot on their attacks on every single other site has done fantastic. You saw Okami do different plays on Master Bedroom, on Dining and Kitchen, and they've done fantastic jobs. So unless we see One Shot take something crazy out of the pocket when it comes to defense, I'm thinking we're going overtime.
Well, but looking at One Shot's defense, they have already made an adaptation that I was actually going to bring up if they didn't do it, but they are doing it, so I will bring it up.
Okay.
There was no major solar presence by One Shot when they defended this site. Now, you can't see it, but we can. They have an Aruni, and they also have a Mute, a Mozzie as well. They have C4s for post plant or vertical play, but more importantly, they actually might be setting up for a more concentrated hold of solar stairs. With nobody playing aggressively in that position, Exile's able to completely repel in 45 seconds, and they later on get a pick in that area. That entire side of the map is now completely free for the taking. And since it's a solar take, that's the most important part of that execute from that side. But now, if they're actually able to hold this area of the map, I think they might be able to keep it a lot more close to Okami than they were previously, or than they could have previously.
Oh yeah, now I was told this is the One Shot's tactical timeout. I guess I didn't really know that, but it's a perfect time to take a timeout. They're a match point. They need to get one defense, and like I said before, they need to adapt and change the play to stop Okami from taking control. And that's given that Okami did the same play. I don't know if they will or not here, but hard to say. But in the end, they need to figure out what's going on. They need to adapt and try and stop them pushing. And it was like last time they played this site, they had actually a setup to deny a half wall take, do a half wall plant. But again, they didn't have anything control for Slayer, and that's where Okami played perfectly. They knew that there was a full intent on denying that half wall plant like One Shot did on their attack. So Okami went for the exact opposite. They go for Slayer, take full control, like Lynx was talking about. And now we see if One Shot now can figure that out and try and play. But I think it's point if they're gonna try and stop Slayer, they're just gonna go the other way.
That is true, but they do have some contingencies for that. As you can see, there are some players currently sitting over by Pillar, and we actually need to see if there are going to be players aggressively playing Solarium, as there might not be. Kilo is down below right now, but nobody is actually aggressively contesting Solarium stairs like we thought they would. But I say that, there's actually nobody except for one player of Okami on that Solarium side right now. So maybe it's actually Okami that are switching up the defense, and One Shot are just continuing playing that pattern. But right now, Raffi also slowly moving over. Yeah, There is an Naruto gate in his way, so he can't just vault him in. That would have been exhilarating to watch if
That'd
he
be
could just vault him
crazy.
in. Wait, is he?
Whoa,
Never mind.
he
He's actually just going in. Okami might be taking this extremely quickly. Sonar's starting to get the bomb down. Raffi takes Storms off guard. Quartz falls as well. That's two of your key post-plant denial, and Swaylin as well. The big three, the Yokais and the two C4s, completely nullified. But Slippery might have the angle. He has the intel, but he can't land the shots. The angle is just completely not favorable. He finally lands the kill onto Sonar, but the case is already on the floor, and we're in a post plant. Kilo, he has control down below. That lot of good it can do him. He only has a DMR to try to make that vertical play work. Slippery will manage to land a very lengthy gunfight onto a member of Okami, and sure, he's lost a lot of HP, but he's even the man count. It's a 2v2, and more importantly, Benny, he's taken out that player on the bedroom rappel. You emphasized earlier how important that position is for the attack. Now, One Shot have a chance, but they don't have a lot of time at their disposal. Both pushing in through Piano, one inside of Library, the other with intel at his disposal. That's actually the one that lands the kill onto Slippery, and now, time is completely gone for Kilo. He might manage to land a kill. No, he won't even get that. Raffi, the player who started off all of that madness in this round, he'll get the final kill, and it might have been a timeout for One Shot, but Okami, on a rush into sight and a plant by Sonar in the first 30 seconds, managed to take that round.
No, we're just spectating Raffi. We're just like, is he gonna do it? Is this gonna jump in?
And I was like, oh, Raffi, he was gonna jump in, but then he saw the Aruni gate, so he was like, no. And then he was doing that thing where he was just sitting there, staring at it. And I was like, wait. Is
You know,
he
what's
actually
funny? I talked about too how, you know, if they put the full intent one side, you could just do the other side, right? Well, they went for both sides actually.
That is true.
Because
Also,
oh my god.
but also you gotta admit, Slippery just peaks a little bit wider. One Shot might win that round.
I don't know actually. 'Cause I don't know how penetrable that desk is.
That is a fair question. We've already seen that bullet penetration today, trying to deny a defuse or plant and not
Yeah, so I'm
sometimes
not
work
sure
out
if you
very
can
well for your
shoot through
team.
that desk unless you blow it up entirely so you can shoot through it, which I don't think they did. I don't know if you can shoot through it like that and kill someone who's planting behind it. And clearly, I think they knew that too, because that's why they planted there, so they couldn't
Maybe.
get shot from the side. So, but
It's
either
true.
way, like it was a great play from Okami because they knew that One Shot was aware of them playing either presence, one-sidedly. So they had people on not only Slayer window, they had people on the balcony. They had Raffi jump through bathroom that's on a big window. It was a full-on, totally five-way sided attack from the side of Okami. And One Shot were sure they were aware of Raffi running in because Raffi was the loudest person jumping through an Aruni gate, but they weren't aware of another person running through the Aruni gate on the balcony door and going for a plant.
However, Benny, we're One Shot playing this time. What hold are they doing?
Oh.
Eh?
Oh, let's see. Have they adapted?
They're holding Solarium. And actually, from Okami right now, of course, I think they actually are going for their standard Solarium take. You might be able to tell by the fact that there are currently 4 players over by Solarium. But last time they did this, Raffi, the only player on Okami, was the one to go over to that library side and put some pressure on that side. So it is a rotation by One Shot finally. Never mind, he's just back in the same spot he was before. And we'll spot Stormers for just a second.
Oh, that's huge.
But Swaylon's able to get the opening pick. Exactly. That's the Yana gone. Exile still has a set of nades to take down the player playing on those stairs. But Kilo's able to get a kill. Traded it out. Completely eliminated all the advantage Okami managed to gain.
Oh, this has been a much different beginning of the round compared to last from One Shot. Denying big window, getting a pick as well onto WAV as well. So now this is looking huge for them. Now at this point, Okami have to figure out what are they gonna do next. They have to rotate into a different play. And we see Raffi going below, getting droned in. He's trying to make a play to ping other areas downstairs, expecting someone to be below. But I don't believe anybody is still playing below. I believe that all the rest of the members of One Shot are returned back to site. So now, at this point, Okami are kind of, looking for a ghost. They're wasting time on this clear. And now they have to rotate into a Solarium take with not as much utility as they would like on this push in. Well, there's members from One Shot. Not even all members actually from One Shot on this side, too. So, but still, Quartz on the Echo could be the play that stops them anyway in the end.
I think that's the most important factor right now. Sure, there might not be... Actually, there is still one C4 in play. It's a pre-placed from Swaylon, I believe. Maybe it's storms and the UI is just bugging out a little bit, but Suelen might still have a pre-placed C4 on the board right now. But yes, as you said, Quartz is going to be the big defender you want to have your eyes on, because if Okami are trying to get the bomb down, which I imagine they are, they're a team that likes to tend to play objective focused. That yokai is going to be their biggest issue right now. That and the fact that they are at a man disadvantage. So if One Shot just want to start swinging and play the trades, they have the manpower to do it. Raffi will take the position on the bedroom rappel. A lot of angles at his disposal, not only outside of bathroom, but also into piano. Suelen will swing and take quite a bit of damage. Exile manages to land a kill onto the Echo. That was the player we needed to see, and the kill we needed. Raffi also manages to catch Slippery inside of piano, and now the man advantage is retaken for Okami. Suelen and Kilo left in the 3v2. Sonar will start to plant on the wall, separating the two bomb sites. The Mozzie manages to find a kill, but Raffi, the coverage is successful. The bomb plant as well. Sonar takes a hell of a lot of damage rotated off, but he's downed as well. Raffi will have to clutch this out. The man advantage has swung back in the favor of One Shot, but is Suelen watching? No, he's not. Raffi gets the gunfight in the favor. Kilo finally rotates back up, but joins his team a bit too late. 1v1. They have a Z-ping on his position. Kilo is well aware of where Raffi's playing, and he's not rotated. Can't land the pre-fire. He spots the head, but he doesn't fire. He fires only a bit too late. Raffi will now rotate over a single-shot weapon versus fully auto. This could work out his way. He almost lands the pre-fire with the pistol, but no, Raffi still wins it. A back and forth, not in man count, but in positioning and damage. Okami managed to send it to overtime thanks to Raffi's efforts.
He put Raffi on 1 HP.
That
1
is,
HP.
Dude, what are
He
these?
put Raffi with a pistol on 1 HP. Now I think he thought he downed him.
What are these heartbreakers on round 12 that keeps happening? This
Yo,
is
yo.
whoa.
Yo. I feel so bad for Kilo because that was.
He had it. He had it.
I'm pretty sure he thought that he put Raffi on the floor with that because Raffi had 1 HP. I'm pretty sure 1 HP.
Oh my lord! Two round 12s today that have just been brutal for one team. And Benny, it's been a 4-2 half for both defenses today.
Yeah,
And
still
guess-
100% win rate only at one site
Guess where One Shot are starting?
on defense.
They're starting on the defense.
But that's the unfortunate part because the only site they've won has been bar games. So it's like
That is the issue, isn't it?
well, it depends. You know, sometimes overtime just flips entirely on its head and
That is
defense
true.
wins it around. I don't know. Don't ask me. Sometimes it does that. But anyway, that last round was such a great start for One Shot. They deny the big window take. They get the first 2 picks they need to, but there's still so much time for example, for Okami in general. Exile, I don't know why I specified Exile, but for the rest of Okami to figure out what to do for the rest of the round, and they slowly make their way. Because at that point, One Shot have evacuated the master bedroom, that far side of the map, allowed for Okami to take control of bathroom, take control of that side, open up into the south, and then just kind of slowly push the way through, get the kills they need. Sure, it was a close one at the end there because members still came back. Kilo getting kills, Suelen getting kills to bring it back. And it's a 1v1 in the end, but it was a post plant. That's a big thing. They got the plant down when they needed to.
Yeah, that is the big point right there. Raffi able to make that position work, and also Exile's frag evening up, making it a 3v3. Little moments right there in terms of positions and just one kill in a certain spot. That kill on the courts, man. It might not have been, it might have only been the second body lost on the side of One Shot, but not having that yokai and all your post-plant utility now being gone made it as close as it was for One Shot by the end. And again, heartbreaker for Kilo right there. Thought he might have downed Raffi, or maybe he just stopped firing, whatever it was. Now Okami have a chance to close this out. One Shot, talk about bar, Benny. They do have a chance to go to bar, so if they continue with the trend, One Shot might be able to win here. But is this a case where if Okami win this site, is that over? Should we just call it there?
Well, the thing is, so One Shot, so we given that One Shot wins the site because one site has 100%, but then Okami go to the site, they win 100%. And then what site does a One Shot go to after that? They go back to Master Bedroom Office?
Maybe.
You gotta think they're like, where do they go to actually?
Perhaps.
Where do they go to? Because I guess like so far, Master Bedroom Office has been the closest out of all the other defense sites when it comes to One Shot's defenses.
10 seconds.
Yes.
But at the same point, you played it the most so far too as well, Dak. So it's like,
I'm gonna say we'll wait and see.
no, they should actually go to the basement.
No. Only team that really NCL has been I've seen able to make that work was Stage 2 Aqualix. Because on basement, you have to roam, and when they had Kento, just put Kento on Vigil, and you'll probably be fine.
Kento and Gashra in the freaking stockroom by himself as mirror.
Forgot about the
That
mirror by
was
himself.
crazy. I will never forget that play.
That was the Blitz too, wasn't it?
That was the Blitz too, and it's just nobody with the
that
Blitz.
was-
He runs in and he just kills the Blitz somehow, and you're like, what happened?
That was a low point of my life. Anyway, not trying to relive old memories right there. For Okami, their lineup is actually pretty similar to how they've been taking this previously. They are actually missing a Yana, oddly enough. You'd think they'd have it, but they've clearly liked Raffi on the Ash, Lava, wanting to stick with that Flores, use those Rotera drones to try and clear out Blue Stairs and Pillar as well. Not a bad pick, not having the Yana. They still have a lot of utility that are necessary at their disposal, and since One Shot haven't really played the Aruni all that much, one of the primary reasons you bring Yana on this site is to burn the Aruni gates with the Glown. You don't really need to do that if one team isn't running Aruni.
Well, let's see how it goes so far. Last time they actually...
What?
Did they have intel or something, or what? What just... It's funny. You want to tell us what happened this way? Did you just have intel, or you just pre-fire for no reason, or...
I just feel bad for Raffi there. That was
Raffi Raffi gets like
Wow.
the worst plays out sometimes. He just gets killed by the most crazy things. They're just like, how did you? Anyway, so first things first, they gotta get rid of that shield on Pillar. And oh, see the Jaeger of Slippery. Can't get the kill unfortunately on the player inside the library. And still, yeah, it looks like that shield maybe by Pillar is still there because I think Swaylen's still playing that spot, and they still got rid of the shield on library stairs. So far for Okami, not quite the success they had that other round they played this site, where they were able to at least get that shield off the off the stairs.
No, but they will manage to find a kill on the Slippery, who has gone huge for One Shot in various moments. In fact, I believe this was the site he got a quad kill on in one round in particular, 3 of them inside of library. So taking him down could be important for Okami's overall chances as they slowly make their way in to Pillar, and on top of those blue stairs, Exile will spot one player playing inside of the stockroom for just a moment. That was Quartz, whose big toe was peeking out between that ceiling, but he's not able to find anything. There is some intel down below as well. Z ping revealing that someone might be rotating up Z. Now with the man advantage taken, dominantly so, thanks to Sonar, a triple for him on the round. It's Kilo stuck in the 1v4. Where is he playing? He's down below. He's got to completely rotate back up as Okami have taken full control of the site. Now with Sonar starting to get the bomb down, Okami have plenty of people to counter Kilo's position and where he's coming from. He's let his position known, and Exile will vault over the roof, hit the prone immediately, and they take match point. Bar, the very first attacking win comes for Okami as they move to match point.
So they get that first pick on Slippery. They take control of library. They have 44 seconds, but still enough time to take a vertical pressure. But I also noticed when we were getting to execute, there were 3 people off site.
And Kilo was also downstairs.
Yes, the only person on site was the mute of, I forget who it was, but the mute on site when you saw in stockroom, he was the only person on site.
Yeah. Quartz was just chilling in stockroom on smoke, and he was just, then all of a sudden everything collapsed around him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. As soon as they had full control, they took full control of the library in those dying seconds. I guess the members of One Shot were expecting to get the flanks they need to deny the plant, but you can tell from the way it happened in there that Okami's drone structure there was perfect. They spotted every single player that was offsite. Not every single player, but they spotted most of the players offsite, and they denied them from flanking in that late game execute. So great job from Okami to get that win, and now we go back to barring games from Okami, and this is the end of the game, it looks like. Unless we see One Shot do the same and just win this site too somehow.
It could be. They're taking things the same way, running with the same lineup that they did on their attacking half. And the big problem here, as I mentioned earlier in trying to forecast how Okami might handle this take, was One Shot, the comparison I drew, or it was an analogy I drew. Wait, no, not an analogy. I don't know. The historical event that I referenced in this game so far. One Shot tried to use the Flores to clear out that shield on top blue, like most teams do when they bring Flores. However, the big problem was that there are members of Okami, mainly Exile playing in Library and Sonar playing in Pillar, who were not adequately pressured or cleared out by One Shot. So they just, all right, I think there's actually a take happening right now, so I'm just going to shut up.
Is.
So yeah, 2 members are now dead on the side of Okami, but unfortunately, Swaylen down Slippery, puts a few too many bullets in his back. Rav able to finish him off, Akilo watching the flank, finds Raffi rotating back, just wondering around like, hey, what the hell's going on? All of my team is dead. Exile's wondering that same thought right now, just muttering to himself, this is fine, as match point slips away from his fingers. 1 HP, 1 kill, 1 round for One Shot, and 1 round away from taking this in all 15 rounds. That attack happened a lot quicker than I anticipated, but if you're struggling to clear out Pillar and Blue Stairs, just rush the site and pretend they don't exist.
Remember I told you how sometimes it just flips the coin flips the head on overtime.
Okay, but like, yes, they did, but one shot just rushed the site. That's my argument. Is that like, yeah,
That's my argument.
that's my argument.
Because I was thinking about that when you were talking about the beginning round stuff. I was like, since we saw Okami win that, you kind of need for them to also win it. So I guess the best way would just be to push site.
Yeah. Well, so I was doing my analysis and trying to draw my comparison, and then I was like, wait, was that a gone 6 shot I just heard?
Because you heard the damage too. I saw the health bars going down, and I was like, wait, is someone spawn peeking?
Well, so I didn't see the health go down. I was just looking. I was looking at something on my screen, but then I heard a gone 6 shot, and I was like, nobody's in office. Where's a gone 6 shot? And I was like, wait, did they just open the window? And then I was like, oh no, there's a rush happening. So.
That makes they probably did gone 6 the window and just jump in.
I imagine that's what happened.
Yeah,
gonna go out on a
the window and walk in like that.
Unless,
it's funny because I saw ton Slippery.
Unless Slippery just like gone 6 the air, and that was like their battle trumpet.
That was the start signal.
That was the start signal. Ready and start.
One shot's on a line, just trying to run in. They're all put the feet on the floor, like, okay, ready and.
They're all like spiking the Cowboy Bebop, and just like.
5 seconds to go.
Anyway, so we're on to the last round of this match. We need all 15 rounds to decide this Chalet match between Okami and One Shot. And we go back to Barn Games, which has, been the best site for defense. Well, until overtime, at least. And now, well, so far it was, this round was different because even though Okami did the same play usually, they're able to destroy shields within a decent amount of time. They had control of, top floor, and Sonar is dead already by Kilo, who just peeks out a trophy, I believe. No, actually below, inside of Laundry. So great job from Kilo to get that first pick. He's almost getting, oh my god, shot from what the?
All right, so that happened. Kilo has 16 kills, by the way. So,
Someone pick this player up and put him in PL. What's going on here?
all I'm saying, Desk was like, hey, Quartz has another good performance. Is he in contention for, best pickup? And I was thinking to myself, Kilo was also picked up. I feel like Kilo's a little bit underrated. Yeah, he's 16-8 right now. He's probably going to be the most highly rated one after this match. No disrespect to Quartz. He's playing like Lion and Smoke. And Kilo is running around as Malusi. 2 very different roles these players are playing. Problem right now is Okami aren't just hitting the site like One Shot did, understandably. But the issue has been Benny taking out pillars and clearing out library. They have their Flores, but they have much less manpower to try to clear out these positions, and much less utility as well.
Let's see if anybody from, One Shot peeks out and loses their life early like Slippery did last time. And there's that was what I was talking about, exactly that. It was Storm to peek his head out from the shield, trying to get a pick off, but he'll get taken down. Shield gets taken down as well. So, again, this early round getting rid of the shields, Okami's done a much better job creating One Shot and taking the site. So, it is looking better when it comes to utility for Okami, but they're still in the man disadvantage. These smokes are here to try and slow them down, waste as much time as possible, and force Okami into a late game execute, which has been, the game plan for everybody. Exile taking a lot of damage by the person in the pillar. He's down to 1 HP, and it's looking bleak for Okami.
Yeah, right now that shield's still alive. Oh no, Lava anticipating a peek up. Oh, a great transition by Swaylin. Domes, Exile sends him to the grave. Wow, 50 seconds, the only one left. Might be on the backs of Kilo, but certainly a good play by One Shot overall. Could be sending them to a victory in the 15th round and helping them win this game overall. They would secure 2 points, but it's not done yet. Wab, you can't take an effective tactical timeout. You have to make a play. Kilo right now is anxiously anticipating a swing in by Wab, but it's Slippery to get the final kill. One Shot, a double K early on in the round, and 2 monumental kills by Kilo put them over the edge in round 15, and they secure the win 8-7.